that became known in the West first, and this was way before this. Alvar Aalto, in the 1930s, became the first internationally celebrated Scandinavian designer. And what I'm showing you is a house that he did, famous Villa Mary. The first was his own studio. This is an international style house in general form, except he used natural wood. The Scandinavians didn't reject the natural materials that were around them just in favor of modern materials. And again, here's something that you should be able to see as in terms of relating to what Gropius was doing at the Bauhaus. But the interior, here he's using finished birch, and he's actually suggesting trees growing in the forest, which is reflecting the love of nature. The use of natural materials you would see in the woven carpets. And neutral colors, soft colors drawn from nature, would be the hallmark of Scandinavian design. The most famous interior, this would be, let's say, an image you'd have to know. The Finnish Pavilion at the 1939 fair, remember this was the last gasp of Art Deco. Alvar Aalto designed something which he wanted to showcase Finland and the idea of Finland and what the country was like. This was a time when people in the Western world didn't know where the heck Finland was or even what it was. So he designed something that was with finished birch. This is the exterior, one of the few very modern pavilions. Remember, the others were kind of Art Deco style or industrial design style. This was all birch, looking like the idea of a forest. So that's why the weaving shapes. And instead of an exhibit of objects, although there were some objects, this was large black and white photo blow-ups of the landscape in Finland to talk about nature and the love of nature. And these are two of the pieces which are very famous. The one on the upper left, particularly the Paimio chair, which he designed for a sanitarium. He was doing something very advanced with that laminated wood. Remember last week we looked at what the Eameses did. Well, what he did is took an idea from a trolley car in Hungary, the laminated wood as a comfortable seat. The Eameses bent it two ways. So this was bent just in one direction. I mean, the lamination had been done before, but bent here. The Eameses bent also, their engineering bent it, you see, laterally as well as vertically. And the trolley is part of a whole collection. These are the tables. How many, have you seen these? Any of you? These have been around forever. These are two versions of the stacked table or stool. This one suggests the edge of where a tree joins, where the branch joins to the tree. This is actually the more widely seen version of the stools, where each of the legs comes out, is screwed separately underneath the seat. The point of this is that not only do these stack up easily, these come apart for very easy shipping. So that was another thing. The Scandinavian countries were actually the first people to do ready-to-assemble furniture, knock-down furniture, which you could take apart and ship easily. And he designed this in 1937 for a restaurant in Helsinki, a custom piece, but this is produced by Iittala, the Finnish glass company. And it's an organic form that's sort of an abstract of a flower. This is a room that we can only, it's mostly closed in the Institute for International Education across the street from the UN building in Manhattan. This has the same kind of forms that he used on the legs of the little stools or tables. This was again finished birch suggesting the forms of trees. Tapio Verkala designed objects, not furniture, and this is one of a series of leaf-shaped platters leaf shape, but he did various sizes and various shapes, sort of flatter and more sunken. And perhaps among his most famous are these designs on the right for Itola, which is, again, the glassware company. There's one finished glass company. This suggests either icicles or possibly in this configuration, the mold is suggesting also the outside of a tree. But I think this one is meant more as dripping water, but it's been treated both ways. How many of you have seen these? Gee, these are, well, now, when you see them again, you'll notice them. They have been made for years, and they're made in about 6 different heights. These are candlesticks, incidentally. This is a very limited edition. This is an art piece of blown glass. These two above and below on the right are machined. This is called the Cantarelli vase, mushroom. And he designed, from the 70s on, various iterations of the Finlandia bottle, suggesting an inspiration in ice and frosted glass. Kai Frank was another another Finnish designer who did his most famous object were this dinnerware. Now, originally kilted, now called Tima. I told you that Raymond Loewy had designed the first mix and match dinnerware. This goes beyond mix and match. This is modular dinnerware. This one has, the saucer is flat bottom, and it's also a cover for these bowls. And there's something else that's a cover for this, so that the pieces do more than one, or double duty. There is, if you have this large platter, the dinner plate, there's a large bowl that's covered with the dinner plate to form a casserole. And again, you can also mix colors, but the particularly interesting point is the modular concept. Eero Aarnio was a Finn who fit the conventions, because if the Scandinavian designers were working with natural materials, this is about by the 60s, how many of you have seen this chair? Yeah, I mean, this is around more now in commercials and advertising and futuristic movies than it was when it was made. But the ball chair, this is a fiberglass enclosure. This one is plastic. The gyro chair is fun, it rocks. There's a child version also. These are not Scandinavian in the sense that everything else is. He was ahead of his, or actually not so much ahead of his time as out there for the Scandinavian designers. Marimekko fabrics in the 60s and 70s were imported to America by a company called Design Research. Now Marimekko has some of its own stores here. And they introduced, Armi Ratia is the woman who founded it. They had several designers. The company, as I said, is still in existence. And what they did is brought a very bold, impressionistic approach to textile design, which was used in casual environments. They made sheets out of it. People would use it in their children's rooms. And they made sort of tent kind of dresses that were enormously popular, were summer dresses. It's a look that is very much Marimekko. It's not like the Bauhaus. It's not like the Wiener Werkstätte. It was a particularly distinctive, very fresh look. And where it's consistent with the Scandinavian approach is it's not at all elitist. It's very informal. One of the things that I should mention is the woman who kind of stated the philosophy of Scandinavian design was a woman named Ellen Key. It's spelled Key, K-E-Y, who in 1899 had something called Skönhet för alla, beauty for all. And what she meant was everybody is entitled to have beautiful things. So that even the most ordinary object should be attractive. Even the salad bowl that you have that you make salad in and then don't even bring to the table should be beautiful. Even inexpensive objects should be made to be pleasing. This bottle, not that I think it's beautiful, it's as important for this bottle to be attractive as for a piece that you're going to have in a museum to be attractive. And this idea pervades the Scandinavians to the point that design is written about in the papers. Controversies about design are published in the papers. It's an issue that's meaningful to them. Did you see what dropped?
It was the mic.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't working anyway, and now I can't find it. Oh, you mean this? No.
The other one.
Yeah, okay.